Mhm.
Archangel Michael, I ask that you oversee this session today. Today is February 8th for Steve and Ashley today. And I ask that you use me as a channel for the highest and best good. Okay. So do you feel that energy? Like I'm kind of like, oh, that's the energy of spirit. Spirit world comes in. You kind of feel that energy start to dip in. So I was saying I felt a gentleman earlier. Do you understand a gentleman in spirit? I feel like he would have had something with his head. Would you understand this? Why do I want to say Twizzlers to you? I know that's random, but would you understand? He was a sweet tooth.
It was
Oh,
Twizzlers.
yeah.
So it was Twizzlers.
Oh my God.
Every vacation he would buy the biggest pack
So
of freaking
funny.
Twizzlers.
Now that is evidence because I couldn't
I
do
hate
that.
Twizzlers. There's not many people
Oh,
that like
my dad and the freaking
He was the
Twizzlers. I
Twizzlers.
swear.
That's awesome.
sweet tooth.
That's
for
awesome.
sure.
I always ask them to. So wow, as to me, that's really, you know, it's them. I can't make that stuff up. So I want to ask you too. What was your experience of this? Did you enjoy this for being your first experience? Do you feel like you gained a lot of insight and clarity?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect you to just basically nail every. I mean, that's just not, you know.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Your dad has great energy to be able to connect like that. Like when I was saying pulling
He'd
teeth.
go bring him anywhere and he would just spark up a conversation with
Yeah,
anybody.
like, but don't bring him to the airport.
No.
Why?
My brother was gonna wring his neck. I mean, he's like talking to people at the TSA. He's asking like how much money they make. It's like that because you pass a certain age, you don't get to.
It does like they hit 70 and they think they can.
Yeah,
So
man,
funny.
Trip.
That's too funny. So you got clarity from this. Would you recommend, having a reading for anybody else if they were going through this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
perfect. And on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not good, 10 being awesome, what would you say this was?
Solid 9.
Yay.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Because it really does help people. And I think there's a lot of fears in coming to do something like this. They're like, I don't know, is she gonna be good? Is it gonna connect? But I'm really grateful that they were able to use me as a clear channel to bring that to the
Yeah, I feel like I've like.
You feel lighter, right?
Yeah, and again, like the whole I used to think this is what it is, and when you're done, it's blackout city, and then not to say the older I get, but then with talking with my dad, and then just like all these things that like start happening, like even with my brother, who's again one of those guys where I didn't want to ask him because she's like, I got it for 2. You can ask your brother if he wants to go. And I'm going, this will be a trip. Like he's going to tell me.
Yeah.
And when I was telling him,
was he open?
He like was virtually in tears because it made him think about when his wife's mother had passed right after they got married. His like best friend died.
Wow.
And whoever they had to do the reading said something to my brother that only him and that dude.
That's the thing. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea. You know what I mean? I tune in, but I'll tell you, this morning that was the craziest experience I ever had. I'm like, okay.
And that was the first thing she said.
It was like as I was waking up, and I had taken a class last night online, so it was about medical intuition, which I'm just trying to do it for myself because I'm always trying to learn and develop my abilities a little stronger. And I was like, God, did I do something in the class? Did it play all night? And I was in my head, and like maybe YouTube came on, and somebody else negative influence. I'm like, what is this? And then once I realized what it was and cleared the energy, and as I'm clearing it, I'm getting it's not yours. I'm like, oh, okay, interesting.
So how long have you been doing?
So since I was a little kid, when we were little, my mom had a hair salon in our basement, and I would see things and feel things, and like you couldn't get up the steps fast enough. If somebody turned off the lights, I'm like, oh God, they're behind me. I could feel them, but I didn't know what it was. I had imaginary friends, Everybody did, but my dad would have made fun of me. I even wrote them a letter and left it on the steps, and of course they don't have hands, so they couldn't write back. But years later, like I would see things. I remember being at my friend's and I saw a spirit lady at the bottom of the bed. I'm like, go away, get away. And I was like, wait, come back. And then she was gone. I'm like, shit. And then it developed. And then I had my grandmother passed and I had a friend who passed. And when they came back, like they did to you in the dream, like, is that waking up? I was like, oh my God. And then my friend was like, you're going to do this. And I'm like, really? I was a hairdresser. Like I owned a hair salons. You know what I mean? Like that was my thing. And I'm like, okay, well, how am I going to do this? Like, how do I do this? Like, use me as a vehicle. And then I went and learned and developed I have tutors from all over Europe. Because over there in England, this is like a thing. When people die, they go right to the medium. And I'm like, why don't they do that here?
I watched Oh,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're
This was
welcome.
great.
This was awesome. Can I hug you guys?
Absolutely.
And take your hearts. Don't forget your hearts.
Thank you very
Oh,
much.
it's such a pleasure meeting you.
You too.
I'm so glad you brought them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was
Great.
good. Thank
You're gonna
you.
go home with them.
I appreciate it.
Welcome. It was so nice to meet you guys. You got your heart, right?
Yep, got it.
Have the rest of your day.
You
Go
too.
enjoy this beautiful day.
Well,
I
Now, you
know.
feel his
We don't have much time either.
yeah, kids are gonna.
Yeah.
Go enjoy. Pay attention to the radio on the way home.
So.
Thank you.
Songs. You're welcome. Keep me posted.